And for more now on the most pressing issues in Major League Baseball, we welcome in former MLB Executive of the Year, Jim Bowden. And Jim, big-time scare for the Padres, seeing Manny Machado go down hard against the Rockies. No broken bones, but a sprained ankle that could keep the All-Star out for weeks. The Padres, they've done well without Fernando Tatis, but how much does the Machado injury affect their chances of staying in the race in the NL West?
Well, there's no doubt this is a major injury. I just got off the phone with the Padres, and it sounds like it's going to be at least 4 to 6 weeks. That means they're not going to get Machado or Fernando Tatis Jr. back in their lineup until after the All-Star break. So that's a real punch in the gut. Machado had been one of the top MVP candidates in the National League so far this year. He's hitting .329 with 12 homers and 46 RBIs. He was leading the Padres in almost every offensive category. He was playing Gold Glove caliber third base. You can see how that ankle turns right there. It is a serious injury, and even though there's not a fracture, sometimes those ankle sprains can be worse. So he's going to be out a while. Now the question comes, what do the Padres do? Now, all indications that I'm hearing is they will probably decide to bring up C.J. Abrams, the young rookie who did not do well in his first stint with the Padres. If you remember, he hit 182 when he got his first shot this year. But since he's been back in AAA, he's slashing .314, .354, and he's got 7 homers, 28 RBIs, and 10 steals. They could bring him up, put him at second, move Jake Cronenworth over to third base. Now, the other thing that I've heard, if they decide to go the trade route to try to get them through the next 4 to 6 weeks, I've heard that they feel they match up pretty well with the Kansas City Royals in a possible trade. Again, the Royals have players like Hunter Dozier, who could fill in at third. They've got Whit Merrifield, who they'd be willing to trade. Padres have also been looking into Andrew Benintendi all year anyway, so maybe the injury to Machado expedites A.J. Preller when it comes to maybe making a trade. But in the meantime, this is a setback for the Padres. Look, Mookie Betts went down for the Dodgers with that cracked rib, so both teams losing a star player. Padres will be able to stay in this thing, but it's going to be very important that they can try to play at least .500 ball between now and the time they get Manny and/or Fernando Tatis Jr. back.
Interesting. All right, while we're talking about contending teams contending with injuries, how about the New York Mets? No Jacob deGrom, no Max Scherzer, apparently no problem. They still got the second best record in baseball. Is it possible, Jim, that the Mets are a bit of a sleeping giant, even though they're winning so much right now?
I'm not going to call it a sleeping giant. I mean, look, over the last 17 games, they've lost 5 games in the standings to the Atlanta Braves. And I can argue that the Braves have a better team this year than the team that won the World Championship last year. So, look, I'm not taking anything away from the New York Mets. They are a playoff team, and they are going to be set for October if, in fact, they can have a healthy Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, and Chris Bassett when they get there. But they're going to have a race, and they need to get Max Scherzer back. I was told earlier today that he will be back. They expect him to start next Sunday for the Mets in the big leagues. That's a really good sign for New York. And a lot of things have gone right. Francisco Lindor, who you just saw the video of, has just been absolutely ridiculous this year, living up to the contract. Pete Alonso's been really good. Starling Marte's been a great addition as well. So the Mets, to me, definitely look like a playoff team. But the pathway to get to the World Series in the National League is going to be a lot more difficult than the American League when you think about the Braves, the St. Louis Cardinals, and then all the teams in the West, including the Dodgers and Padres.
Yeah, in the American League, one team looms over everyone at this point. The Yankees, though, they actually lost a game Sunday, snapping their 9-game winning streak. They're still 32 games over 500, on pace with some of the greatest squads in team history and therefore some of the greatest major league teams in history, period. How sustainable is this?
Oh, it's sustainable. And this is the best team in the sport by a lot, like not a little, like a lot. They have every element that you want in a World Championship club. Right now, they have the best rotation in baseball, at least in terms of ERA and FIP. In fact, 4 of their 5 starters have ERAs under 3. And who has the highest ERA? That would be Garrett Cole of the 5. That's how good the rotation is. They have the best closer in the sport. That's right, I said it. Clay Holmes is the best closer in the sport. He's converted all 11 opportunities. He has an ERA of 0.28, 3 walks and 33 strikeouts in 32 innings, and he's doing it with 2 pitches, a 96 to 98 mile-an-hour fastball and 85 mile-an-hour slider. He has just been incredible. He's a difference maker, no doubt. So you got the best rotation in the game, the best closer in the game, best lineup in the game. Right now, the MVP of the league is Aaron Judge. It's not even close. It's not even debatable. Although Mike Trout on strong from this weekend, they also have a tremendous defensive team. That's what Brian Cashman, the GM, did in the offseason, getting Falefa to play shortstop, trading Sanchez, addition by subtraction. They bring in Jose Trevino. He and Higashioka have been amazing behind the plate, framing, blocking balls, calling a game. Ridiculous. So this is the full package here in New York. It is definitely sustainable. I'm not saying they're going to win 120 games, Russ, but this is a team definitely that has a chance to win between 110 and 115 games.
What happens when Aroldis Chapman comes back?
That's a great question. I think that the plan for New York is if he's pitching up to capability, they're going to give him the 9th and they'll give Holmes the 8th. But I can tell you that I would do the opposite. Clay Holmes would stay in that position as long as he dominates like this, and I would have Chapman pitch the 7th or 8th inning in high leverage situations, and I would make him earn the closer job back. I don't think you ever make decisions based on the name on the back of your jersey or based on your track record. I think you go with the hot hand and who's pitching the best. And I love the fact that Clay Holmes doesn't walk anybody. He fills up the strike zone. That's something that Chapman doesn't always do. So if it were me, Holmes closes, Chapman sets up. But my understanding is that Aaron Boone's thinking right now is that it might be shared a little bit, but I think he's leaning to let the veteran Chapman have it back as long as he's pitching up to his accustomed level.
All right, last topic about a player before we get a World Series pick from you. Mike Trout. I mean, the guy's just going absolutely crazy. 5 home runs in a 5-game series. 4 of them walk-off wins for the Angels, who are now actually winning games after, Trout had a terrible start. Now Trout's starting to hit. At what point did the Angels start actually winning in a way that Trout is playing and maybe he can feel good about getting some wins as opposed to just amazing stats?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Mike Trout is the best player of this era. Make no doubt about it. Barry Bonds before him, but don't let people tell you that he's not. And what he did this weekend is historic. Nobody has ever done that. So congrats to him on just a phenomenal weekend. But, look, do the Angels have enough pitching? That's always been the question. And I think they tried in the offseason getting Noah Syndergaard and Mike Lorenzen. They're trying to develop young pitchers like Patrick Sandoval. But do they have enough pitching to get there? Houston's got a much better team than they do. I don't see a pathway for the Angels to be able to win this division. But I think the wild card is up for grabs. And I do think teams like the Red Sox, the Guardians, Twins, White Sox, Mariners, Rangers, they all have some kind of shot. But for us to cover Mike Trout in October, I think Perry Minasian, the GM, is going to have to at least go get 1 or 2 more pitchers between now and the August 2nd trade deadline.
We haven't hit the halfway point. We're not at the All-Star break, but there are about 100 games left in the regular season. From what you've seen so far, project forward for us. Who's winning the World Series?
Oh, I think the Yankees win the World Series. And look, I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but look at the Mets with DeGrom and Scherzer, and look at the Dodgers pitching, and if Milwaukee can get healthy, and I understand all that. But we have to understand is that the Yankees pitching rotation right now is better than anyone in the sport. And I don't think you can deny what Nestor Cortez and Luis Severino and Jamison Tyone and Jordan Montgomery are doing on a nightly basis. This team can out-hit you, they can outfield you, they can out-pitch you, they can out-close you, and they got it all going on in the biggest market in Major League Baseball. Right now, they are the team to beat. There is no doubt about it, and it's by a distance. Normally we don't look at baseball and say, well, this team is much better than everybody else. But in 2022, that has been the case of the New York Yankees.
Sometimes your eyes are not deceiving you. Jim Bowden, the man, knows his stuff. Jim, thanks so much.
Thank you, Russ.
And one more look at the odds at the moment to win the World Series. The Dodgers, the odds-on favorite at plus 420, followed closely by the Yankees at plus 450. Then sort of second tier, Astros and Mets right there at plus 700 and plus 750 respectively. The Braves, the defending champs, right now tied with the Blue Jays at plus 1,200.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.